Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episodes once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing the second episode for Hunt for Love, so I'm, getting back into it. So just as to, again, picking off of the ad you would have heard for Patreon, just as a reminder, we're in the last day of June, but the June documentary for the third tier was Escaping Twin Flames. We do have another one coming in July. I don't remember which one that is, though, so we will come back to that. I think actually it might be the Fall of Diddy, might be the one in July, but I honestly can't remember, so don't quote me on that, but it might be that one. So we'll see how that is, though, when we kind of go through July. But it's been a minute, but I do have some hot goss for this episode. So just have to go through what I've got here, and then we'll go through it. Okay, so we did talk about this in a previous episode a while back, but Gail Cameron has given birth to her baby with Nathan, which is again below deck. We did talk about this. She was pregnant. So she's welcomed her first child with her boyfriend Nathan, who's a baby boy. Gail confirmed the happy news on her Instagram stories on June 24th. In the social media post confirming the baby's birth, Gail shared a photo of herself with Nathan and their baby, saying, quote, "Welcome to the world, my love." She captioned the photo, which Nathan reshared to his account. The couple didn't post additional details about their new family member, which is fine. We like the baby name, for example. So in case you need a reminder, if you don't remember who these guys are, again, that's, we'll say it here. The Australian and the Irishman met on season 9 of Below Deck Med. The pair broke up after the season wrapped, but they later got back together. Since then, they've chronicled their international adventures and Gail's pregnancy. So congratulations to them. And yeah. So what's the next thing we'll talk about? So this, y'all, is very interesting, and I have thoughts. I do believe I have the full cast for the upcoming show that I'm going to talk about, but I'm confused. So I'm talking perfect match, which by the way will be covered later on during the Christmas break. Not doing that now. It's just too many shows going on right now. Um, I know I said versions I will try to cover, but because we now have that, I do want to do Match Me Abroad. Um, I think versions will be moved over there to the Christmas break as well. Um, so yeah, this is weird for me. I'm just like, what is happening with Perfect Match right now? My mind with Perfect Match is it's Netflix shows. It's people from the Netflix universe. So explain to me why Clayton Eckhart and Rachel Isrichia, who are on Bachelor, okay, as we know, reunite on Perfect Match season 3. Okay, so here's the thing. I have questions. I'm wondering why are they here? But on the other hand, this is going to be so good. So in case no one knows this or, aren't a part of the Bachelor universe or you never saw their season together, Rachel did become Bachelorette with Gabby, but both Rachel and Gabby were on Clayton's season. And Clayton had sex with everybody except for the woman he picked. He had sex with Rachel, he had sex with Gabby. He ended up breaking up with both of them, and it became a whole thing. It was dramatic, if anything. If you've never seen this season, watch when Clayton breaks up with Gabby and Rachel at the same fucking time. It was amazing. This is going to be dramatic, but I still have questions. Why are they here? Anyways, let's talk about this. So, Bachelor Nation fans saw, as we just talked about, saw them, the love story, Jesus. Anyway, um, so now the exes have found themselves single again because Rachel barely survived. Um, um, and they're, looking for another shot at love. Both Rachel and Clayton were just announced as cast members as on season 3. Let's see if I can find the rest of it. So I kind of talked about that, but I do know I have the rest of the cast. Um, here somewhere. So we'll talk about that. Um, okay, so how are they doing this? Sorry, I'm just trying to. Okay, so we have people from CS to Key, which I thought is also not on Netflix. It's an MTV show. What is happening? But from those people who know CS to Key, I don't. Um, we have Juliet Porter, Carrington Rodriguez, and Justine Joy. They're also going to be on. So here we have other people. We have AD, as we know, and Ollie. This is where they met. So they're on this. So we're gonna see their love story unfold. Um, who else we got? I don't know. They're not telling everybody in this one. See if I can find. Now talk about last season. I don't care about last season. Anyways, I don't have the full list, but the so the season 3 episodes. Well, maybe we can cover it. We'll see. I've said December, but because it's coming in August, maybe I'll be able to do it. We'll see kind of what's happening in August. So we'll see. But it's coming on the first 6 episodes released on August 1st, and the episodes will drop weekly until the finale on August 15th. Or until August 15th. So that's basically what's happening with that. Again, I don't have the full cast, but the trailer is out, so you can also look at that. Um, and I do have, um, so I haven't talked about this, but Golden Bachelor, I think, is coming back soon, and we don't have anyone from Golden Bachelorette that's going to be a part of this. But we have a new person who I think I did mention before very briefly. His name is Mel Owens. He's 63, and he has revealed kind of, I guess, his date range, or his not date range, his age range for whom he would kind of like to date, I guess. Um, so he was on a recent, or he did a recent interview on the M Go Blue podcast. I've never heard of it, with John Jansen, and he's a retired NFL player now turned lawyer, and he revealed his ideal dating age range as he takes over the reins as the Golden Bachelor. Um, so he says 45 to 60, just being honest, which 45 is really young, my guy, when you're 66. But anyways, they're not gonna have people who are 45. They're just not. They're if they do, I'm gonna be pissed. They're not gonna have people who are 45. They're gonna have people who are maybe 50, okay? And up. They're not gonna have someone who's 45 because that's not golden bachelor. That's not golden. 45 is golden. It's I'm a 50, but I've had people who were younger than Gary last season. So, like fine, but 45, my guy, you're 66. Are you looking for a actual real relationship or what? Because it feels, again, we're talking 45, which is like they're mature women. It's fine. They've lived life and whatever. But still, there's 20 years difference there. And someone in their 40s versus someone in their 60s is very different. I just, okay. I feel like I'm not gonna like this guy, but you know what? I'm open mind. It's fine. Um, he says, if they're 60 or over, I'm cutting them. I don't like him. I don't think this is a good idea. Who is this guy? Like, you're 66. Like, I understand maybe wanting someone who's younger than you, but to say 60, I'm cutting you out when there's still 6 years to work with is ridiculous. This man is ridiculous. I mean, if he's honest at the front, because we know how things worked with Gary. Gary was kind of like, oh, we really like him. He's sweet. His wife died. He hasn't dated since his wife died. All wrong. And we hated him. So at least he's upfront, but I don't like that. Anyways, um, the executive producer allegedly told him that would be a no-go on the show. Duh. Telling him, Mel, you can't. This is not the Silver Bachelor. This is the Golden Bachelor. He goes, but they're going to be hot. Don't worry about it. Of course they are. Did we see the women that we had in the first season? All gorgeous. Hello, we had Leslie, Jo- um, Joan, who's beautiful. We had, who else? What was her name? The one with the horses? What was her name again? Joy? Something? Whatever. She was gorgeous. And it's just like, sir, all of those women, I mean, I think the one with the horses, I can't remember her name right now, she was younger. She was in her 50s. But like, I mean, freaking Leslie had sex with Prince. Doesn't get any hotter than that. Anyways, so, um, the executive producer also advised against using one word when he begins handing out roses. Owens added, he goes, you can't use the word cut. I go, well, that's an NFL term. You're not in the fucking NFL, my guy. You're not. This is not the NFL. This is not. What's going on? This is not the NFL. This is the Golden Bachelor. This is Bachelor. You don't say you're getting cut from the group of women. You don't say that. That is horrible. You say anything with that. This is the NFL. You're a lawyer. Do you say that in 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 lawyer lingo? That's not what we say. Sorry. Um, legalese. There we go. No. Jeez. Um, as for what he's looking for, Owen shared that he hopes the women are. Oh my God. I think we really need to rethink what we're doing here because right now I'm not interested in watching this show. I'm really not. I feel like the Golden Bachelor or the Golden Bachelorette, it's supposed to be wholesome. It's supposed to be sweet. It's supposed to give people hope that love is possible in your golden years. And this guy is just not doing it for me because here's what he says. He says he wants someone who's fit because I'm staying in shape and work out and stuff. Because that's what you did in the NFL. Listen, you're entitled to feel what you want to feel, but it's like, that is so demeaning, I feel, where it's like you're more focused on what she's looking like, which lends me to he's basically like Pascal, which is why I probably did work to bring him back on because we already know what he wants. But, and no hate on Pascal, he grew up me. And maybe this guy will grow on me, but it's just like, it's so demeaning right off the jump. You haven't even gotten here yet. You still don't go here. And you already like talking like this about people. This is so not gonna go good. Um, he apparently said, I try to stay away from the artificial hips and the wigs, that kind of stuff, right? Okay. Um, okay, the artificial hips, one thing, I guess. Wait, hold on. You know what? Hold on. Back up. Sometimes women need to have hip replacements. Is that what he means? Or does he mean like BBLs? Like I'm trying to understand him here because artificial hip could mean hip replacement, which the way this man has been talking, he's probably talking about hip replacements. Wigs, what does that mean? Sometimes women in older years can have hair loss. It's it's just women in younger years can have hair loss. So I'm just like, what is happening here? I'm I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Um, Owens added that a potential partner should be a lifetime learner who likes to work out, stay fit, eat, have fun, be energetic, and live life. Lifetime learner. Okay, sure. Um, but it's a must. They must work out. They must stay fit. They must eat. Well, shit. Yeah, I hope so. They must have fun, which is fine. They must be energetic and live life. Not everyone wants to be energetic every time, every day, every moment of every day. Sometimes I'm just like, ooh, you know what I mean? This man sounds exhausting. Um, and man, I really don't know if this was a good idea. I feel like we need to abandon ship, with this guy. But anyways, that's basically it. The only other thing that I'll mention here before we hop into the episode, because I think this is important, is season 4 of 90 Day Fiancé UK is coming back. It is supposed to be hitting screens on July 13th, which is why versions is being pushed because help. There's so much for me to do. Help. And of course, I need to cover that now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I will have to push it, but I don't want to. I want to cover it on time because I love this show. So that's coming soon. But otherwise, I think that's it, y'all. I think we can hop into the episode with Hunt for Love. So, again, that's episode 2. So, we're kind of seeing everyone now doing the flirting 101 because we saw some of the hot tub dates. We're not done that though. Cortney is like, I'm not flirty because I just smile and nod. So, like, what could help with all of that? Alcohol, of course, because of course, let's don't forget, she just thought she was going to be getting white girl wasted. So we team, because basically what's going to be happening is we're kind of teaming people together. We're not matching you all together. We're just testing shit out, right? So we team Usman and Cassidy to do some flirting. Y'all, oh God, this was cringe. He's got some swag initially he does, I'll admit. And he's like, "Oh, my name is Usman, aka Soldier Boy. My phone autocorrected to Soda Boy. And I think from now on, I'm gonna need to call him Soda Boy. This is amazing." Um, but he comes in with, "My name is Usman, but everyone calls me Soda Boy." So it's just like, why are we starting off with that? But he has to say, not the American rapper, because Soldier Boy is different than Soja Boy. Okay. Um, it's just like, okay, so do you want to sing me a song? No, 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 a bore, no. But he is who he is, and he's going to do it. She's putting one up about me on the spot. And this is what this man literally says to a woman he's never spoken to before. He's just met like yesterday. This is what he says. "I love you, I love you, I love you, Cassidy." And he doesn't even say Cassidy, right? "I love you, I love you, I love you, Cassidy. I love you, I love you, I love you, Cassidy." Like, what the fuck is this? This man. And she's like, "Oh, you love me already? You just met me." And it's funny because everyone's like, "That's it? That's the song?" That's because he can't write for shit. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. Everyone else does everything to make him look good. Like, it's just not even look good. That's not the right term to use. But you know what I'm trying to say. This is horrific. So Usman is decent, but like you didn't ask her anything, is what the woman says. You didn't ask her anything about herself. It was all about you because he is full of himself. So we'll finish the flirting before we head back to um the the hot tub situation. So Courtney is next, and she has to approach this guy, and she's like, "Can he approach me? I don't approach guys." Like, she doesn't approach them. They always come to me. But no, you're gonna be doing this way. So she's like, "This is my worst nightmare." So she walks up to him and she's like, "Hi, hi, I like your red shirt." Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, hey, my name is Chad. And you know, have a seat." Silence. Silence. Nothing. "So where you from?" "Atlanta." "Okay, where you from?" "Orlando." "Okay, where'd you go to school?" "What'd you study?" "Finance." "What about you?" Uh, I don't know what he said. Um, "What are you drinking?" "Strawberry margarita." "Oh, yeah." Horrible. It was a horrible, awkward date. But, it hopefully she learned something. So then Colt and Lexi are up, y'all. This was hard to watch. I actually missed this the first time, but watching it to do the notes, I actually this was the first time me kind of watching it full. This was really bad. And you know what, Lexi, you're a bitch. Not because of what you said. I have no issues with what you said. I think that's actually the right way to go about it. Tell him what he shouldn't be doing, but don't laugh in his face. That was really mean. So he's like, "So you got interesting piercings." Um, and she's like, "How? Like, how do I have interesting piercings?" "Oh, because I just don't have any piercings." um, so you into that stuff? "Into what stuff, Colt? Into what stuff?" And he's like, "I see your tats. Um, is your body like your canvas?" Usually, yes. That is how people usually deal with stuff like that. Um, And she's like, "Yeah, you know what? Let's take a time out on that. Don't say that. Don't talk about my body," which is fine. Again, I I hear what she's saying because I think he also mentioned something about nipple piercing and stuff like that, which is really weird when you're meeting someone for the first time. But again, Here's the one thing I'm going to say, okay? The one thing. Not that I'm excusing him, but I do need to say this. When you have piercings, and again, I can't remember where all her piercings were, but if you have like your piercings, whatever, you have tattoos that are visible to people to see, yes, people are going to comment on your tats. That's not atypical. I feel like, yes, partly people get tattoos because it's significant to them, it's what they want, but you also do it because you want attention from other people to be like, hey, your tats, which is whatever. Now, do I think he should have been talking to her about her body the way he was when he doesn't know her? No. But yeah, he's going to comment on your tattoos. It's an icebreaker, I think. But then I think you need to pivot from that, which he didn't do. Um, so that's the biggest thing. If you're going to talk about it, but then pivot and I'll have to talk about it in a nice way, but then pivot. So that part I get, but like, don't be upset that he's talking about their tattoos, which are clearly visible. On the other hand, now, you do not laugh in someone's face. This is, you're, I mean, I don't know why, what the randos have been told when it comes to this situation. But from what we can kind of gather, we're talking about people who maybe need a little help in the dating department. And so you're all here for the same reasons, in that sense. So to laugh at somebody in their face when he's here to learn and do better when it comes to dating, um, it's really mean. Like, how would you feel if someone was laughing in your face? It's maybe it's an awkward response, maybe whatever, which is, I get it, but this was just totally out of line and mean. Um, but they are able to turn it around and do better, so that's good. Um, but the cult kind of admits, I'm kind of feeling Courtney. And you're like, oh, now there is spoilers about this when it comes to Cole, Courtney, Usman, but I won't say what those are yet. But I mean, if you're in this universe, you kind of know probably. But yeah, there is a little bit of spoilers about this. So Tiffany is then up with Carlo. He's cute, but their flirting is good. They're connecting. And she says like she can't flirt. Girl, you're doing pretty good. But he pretty much asks her out on a date right there, and of course she says yes. That is so cool. So I don't know if we have anything else with the dating 101. So I think we're done there. So we're gonna head back to speed dating. Okay, so Chantel talks to this Cougar Cup guy, don't know his name, don't care. But she gives him Botox advice. Because that's the way to flirt, is to talk about Botox. Anyways, but they're vibing. His name was Joe. That's his name. She says, if I'm honest, he could use a little Botox. Chantel, not everyone needs some Botox because you work in it. It's so dumb. Anyways, let's get to the fun part, y'all. Let's get to the fun part because Tim and Jennifer um are in the same group. Tim is with Elise first, and she's like, "You're hard to read." That's true. He is. He's like, "Yeah, I'm old." That's not why you're hard to read. You've always been hard to read. Um, and she's like, "You're not that old." Like, I dated a 65-year-old before coming here. So she's that kind of girl. Elise is such an interesting person, which is why she has her name and not Rando. She is such an interesting person. I want to learn more. I need to learn more. Really, to be totally honest with you. I want everything. I want her life, like her life story. I want it all. Anyway, it's time to switch. And now Jen and Tim are in the same hot tub together. Could this be any worse? So when she sees some comment, she's like, oh, do we have to do this? We already know this is not gonna happen. Like, do we have to do this? And as this poor Tim, as he's going into the hot tub because he's probably feeling really awkward. He doesn't want to probably be in this hot tub with her any more than she does with him. So he's probably just a little preoccupied, but he ends up slipping and almost hurting himself while getting into the hot tub. This poor man, and, and the look he gives when he studies himself with the champagne killed me. It was so funny. Um, and she's like, "There's an extra tub. Like, you can go into that. Like, is there something that we can do here?" Um, and he's like, "Listen, I'm trying to be nice. You know, you weren't an angel towards me. You're telling women all of this shit about me, which is true. Like, she talks like, oh, he talks so much shit about me. So now I'm just trying to like tit for tat. No, bitch, you've been talking shit about him very easily from the very beginning. So get out of here." Anyways, um, she's like, "You're not that important." Clearly he is. Seriously, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like these two just need to fuck it out and get it over with. Maybe it would help. Maybe she would be like, "Okay, he did it." And because again, as I mentioned, she's mad because he didn't sleep with her. Who doesn't sleep with Jen? You know what I mean? That's where her mind is at. So for her to be like, "You're not that important," but yet clearly he is that important because you keep talking about him as well. Like, I'm not saying he isn't, but when people are asking questions and he's answering those questions, that's not talking about you. That's filling in answers. The difference is people come to you talking shit about him talking shit, and then you start talking shit. You know what I mean? So there's a difference. You're doing it because you think he's talking about you, when really it's because people are asking questions. And clearly he's going to talk about the fact, well, my ex is here. And that's a lot, obviously. They haven't been in the same vicinity with each other since they last saw each other 7 years ago, you know? So she says, "He attacks like a woman. He likes to gossip." What does that have to do? We gotta stop. The whole gendering and everything. Men like to talk and gossip too. Jen, the man that you most likely fucked later on, even though you want to say you didn't, um, loves gossip. He loves it. Loves it. That's something him and Sophie connected on, was gossiping. So it's not a gender thing because to me, looking at Rob, just looking at him, you wouldn't think, "Oh, he's gay." Like we want to do with Tim. So why is it okay for Rob, who appears as heteronormative, whereas, we know Tim is a little more out there with his style and everything. But listen, there's that one point, I don't know which episode it is, but there's one point where Tim shows his ass, where it's like, "Oh, there he is. There it is." He has the most man who likes to sleep with women nonsense. And it's like, oh God, even he can be stupid. But anyways, we'll get to that when I get to that. She then sits outside of the hot tub just in order to get away from him. Um, so so the guy ends up coming over. He's like, "Hey, is everything all right over here?" It's the longest 2 minutes of our lives. Tim ends up excusing himself and goes to the beach because he's like, "I'm not gonna do this shit." Um, and she's like, "Thank God." Like, ugh, like it wouldn't have killed you to be in this. I mean, I think of maybe I'm different, but I think if I were to think of an ex that I really disliked, like really wanted nothing to do with, I still don't think I could be as mean as she is to him. Um, and I had, sexual relations with them. Um, I wouldn't have been that mean. Um, because I feel like one in particular that I'm thinking of that I wanted nothing to do with, or maybe a couple, I wanted nothing to do with. When I kinda got to that point, I could still handle being in a hot tub with them and not be like, make it weird. I can still handle being in that hot tub with them. Um, my ex-husband, well, well, I'll be in the hot tub with him. It's fine. Leave it at that. Uh, but if I was single, obviously, we, it'll be fine. But it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's when I wouldn't have made it all about that. So Elise and Rob do their date, and it's pretty apparent pretty quickly that she's either all in or all out with him. Like, that's what she says. Like, it's either I'm in or I'm out. I'm not in the middle. And he's like, what did I do? It's too soon to be like, oh, they're all in or all out. Like, it's way too soon. This is day two, okay? It's maybe been a full 24 hours. It's too soon. Um, Rob goes to Jen next, and y'all, he's flirting hard because he's really into it. Let's not forget, Sophie is Latina, so he's definitely has a type. Um, Elise is like, why is he so close to her? Like, Jen, she needs to stop flirting with every guy here because, like, I don't want competition. I usually get what I want. Spoiler alert, she's not gonna get what she wants. But and I don't feel like honestly, I don't feel like Jen has really flirted with every guy here. If anything, I feel like the men have flirted with her because she is beautiful. But I think that's more what's happening here. It sounds like jealousy. That's all it sounds like. Anyways, um, so we're kind of now combining everything together here now. Apparently, Usman and Cortney are claiming they did not have sex in Istanbul. I don't believe it. I don't. I don't believe it. Not for a second. Anyway, because again, let's not forget, they, in between the sheets, they talked about the fact that they were actually talking prior to coming on. Or was it on the show? It might have been on the actual show. I can't remember. But they talked about the fact that they were talking before coming on the show. They were talking the night before. There's no way in hell they didn't know that they were going to be on the show together. What is the chances, and we've seen it before in reality television, that these two didn't talk to each other to say, don't talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to say we had sex. It's happened. It's literally happened before. Definitely BIP is one that clicks in my mind. Have you ever thought of starting your very own podcast? Doing the research, I found something that would have made editing easy and seamless and makes the podcasting experience just that much easier. And I am talking about Ludo. This is a podcast software that I use for our editing of our episodes. It is amazing. It is easy. You're also able to get help from doing chats and getting the information that maybe you just need a little more help with. They also have access to different articles that can also help you that have been just godsends for me. Also with the Ludo, you can create clips, you can do your ads, that's like this very one I'm doing right now, and you can create your trailer very seamlessly just by the clicks of buttons. You can also use a Ludo to publish your episodes just straight from the software. It's so easy. I highly recommend it. You can get access to a Ludo by using our unique link, which you can find on our show notes just down there at the bottom at the show notes and you can get access to an easy software. So at the end of the night now, we're back in the main area, but now we're going to be going over the results of the speed dating. This is when shit hits the fan. So the bottom four people, Chantel, some rando named Nikki, Tim, and y'all, Jen. You saw her face when she heard her name being in the bottom four. And she's like, the pardon? The fuck? The what? How? I am me. How would I get bottom four with that guy? Chantel made sense. I don't know who the hell Nikki is. Tim also made sense. Jen was a shock. That was funny. So Chantel, you also rated people pretty low because Chantel is Chantel. She has quote unquote standards that are, I think it's okay to have standards. She has standards, that's fine. I think she's always had standards. But I think since Pedro, her standards have got a little tighter, you know? So she says, I just felt awkwardness from people, so I figured if they're going to probably rate me low, I'm going to rate them low. Rob said, so I rated everyone the same, which was a 3. Nice in the middle. Everyone got a 3. Keep everyone on a level playing field. Just felt like the same thing each time, which is actually really mean because it's like you were really flirting hard with Jen, which felt very different than your date with Elise. So, what? Now, this is him trying to keep it fair. Elise is like, I guess I'm just lost by this question. Like, does that make you feel like a way? I guess she's like, I guess I just have to try harder. No, ma'am, you need to stop trying. He's literally trying to tell you, I'm not that into you. He says, everyone's rated the same. Like, I just don't understand. Listen, okay, Rob, I don't want to give you any advice because I hate your guts. But here's what I will say. The last thing a woman wants to hear is that she's the same as another woman. We don't want to hear that. We are different. We are special. We use kind, use special. Okay. That's what we want to hear. Okay. If you're labeling a woman like Elise a 3 alongside Jen, which I don't understand how she got a 3, shit's not gonna go good. You need to man up and say, hey, Elise, it was just a kiss. Or was it? Look at that. So Cortney is gossiping about the 90-day powwow. Girl, stop it. And Chantel calling Usman a scammer, which you already know, he already knew this. We already know Chantel was likely told Cortney while she was in Istanbul that Usman is a scammer, and she told him then because how else does Usman know that Chantel thinks he was a scammer from night one? How else? He's like, I feel like um she owes me an apology. I mean, she's a woman. I can't punch her. What? First of all, I look at Usman and I feel like limp wrists. I don't feel like this man would really know how to punch anybody. Secondly, where's this coming from? Where is this coming? Why did we leap from I feel like you owe me an apology to I can't punch you? How did we get here? Okay. Um, so we'll get to that in a minute. Although I do believe Chantel dips. Oh no, that doesn't happen yet, so we'll come back to that. Elise comes for Rob in the meantime. And she's like, how dare you rate me a 3? And Courtney's like, you rated her a 3? She should be like, you're number one, Courtney, you're not helping. But Elise is like, thank you. Exactly. How would you feel if that happened to you? He's like, I wouldn't care because I don't see the problem. He doesn't see the problem when it's not directed at him. Mhm. But when it's directed at him, he sees the problem. However, that doesn't quite answer his reactions with Gino and Jasmine because that had nothing to do with you. I'm just saying, he's full of shit. That's all I'm saying. So, um, so all you want to do is like stick your dick in me? What? Wait, what? Because that, we didn't see that. Apparently, he may have been saying, I want to put this dick in your vagina. So it is, I don't know. But then she says, ooh, the 1-2 punch with this one and says, that's why your relationship didn't work out. Oh, shit. Honestly, she's not wrong. Did she watch the show? Did she watch the show? Because that's not wrong. That is not wrong. Because it's because of online cheating why they didn't work out. He wants to stick his dick in everything. That's why she watches the show, doesn't she? Anyways, um, then she shows the receipts of him pursuing her. It's all there. He was definitely pretty vocal about the fact that he wanted to potentially have sex with her. But she said, I just another girl. And Chantel was like, she has upset because she wanted her cheeks clapped and he didn't clap them cheeks. But it's night one, honey. Give it a minute. Be cool, calm, and collected. That way, he'll clap them cheeks. No man wants a crazy bitch. Not, well, Josh did. Because why else was he with Natalie? Quote unquote. Um, but then Chantel, when she hears about Usman's little comment there, confronts him about it, and he says, if you're a man, I would punch you, but you're a woman, so I can't. That's the only reason. That feels disgusting. It feels like steps away from you actually would is because you pissed me off enough. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, you're gonna punch me in the face? Like you wanna do that? You wanna fight me? He says no. But you brought in fighting words. So what did you think she's gonna do? I would do the exact same thing. If I feel like a man did say something similar like that to me once. Actually, yes, that did happen. Someone did do that to me. I won't say who, I won't say anything like that. I won't say the circumstances, but someone did do that to me. And I'm like, I'm right here, bitch. Come get me. Come get me. Here's the address. Come fight me. Of course, they're not going to, but I would do the exact same thing because I have done the exact same thing. Um, so she ends up leaving and she goes to bed. But on the way to bed, she says, I have every right to think that he's a scammer. You do have the right, but is it correct? Probably not. She's like, I've never been so disrespected by a man in my life. Hold on. You've never been so disrespected. Ma'am, can I need you to exhibit A, your ex-husband, the way he treated you towards the end of your marriage when you two were still living together. The man wouldn't touch you. The man refused to have sex with you. The man refused to communicate with you, called you lazy, wouldn't include you in his friend group, his work dates. But uh, I've, you've never been just so disrespected. Now, you got her comeuppance about Mama Karen selling that damn chair. That was great. But never, never. Wow. And it is what it is. Now, do I think necessarily Pedro would have been like, I'm gonna punch you, but I can't because you're a woman? No, no. Pedro never would have laid hands on her in any way or threatened to lay hands on her, nothing like that. Pedro ain't like that. So I do understand it from that perspective, but because Pedro pretty much just respected you as a person who is your husband. Anyways, um, He then says, I think that Chantel is going to try and ruin this trip for me. It's not my fault she picked the wrong guy. Motherfucker. Listen, that's mean because, yes, in hindsight, did she pick the wrong person? Yes, because it didn't work out. But I think to say something like that without the full context, which I'm sure Usman does not have, um, is really not the right thing to say because I think a lot of us understand if Chantel and Pedro could have gotten away from their fucking families, they had a fighting chance to work. Those two loved each other. You can't convince me otherwise. I watched back Family Chantel, which I will cover again the full, as ever, obviously the last season. I will cover the other seasons when I get to it. Um, but I rewatched it with Reality Gaze when they were covering it. Um, and I'm gonna rewatch the season again when I get to doing 90 Day Fiance. Past seasons I didn't cover on the Patreon, and they loved each other very much. Their families ruined it for them. That's the only reason he ended up being the wrong man because he had enough. And I honestly don't blame him. I hurt for her, you know, because of how that all turned out. But anyways, Courtney says, I don't want to get caught in the middle. She gets scary when she's mad, and I don't want to get in the crossfire of her anger. I don't want to go to Mexican jail. Honey, but you're playing both sides at the same time, Courtney. I love you, but you're playing both sides. You need to figure this out. So anyway, Jed is going to bed, and her left sick, potentially bisexual puppy, um, there's something, I don't know, in the show, he gives me those vibes, but in between the sheets, not so much. Like, maybe he was just, you know, I don't know, maybe it was some Mexican air. I don't know. But anyways, he says, "Hey, can I walk you home? I want to protect you from those Mexican raccoons. Are they any different than regular North American, because we are in North America, raccoons?" I don't know. Everyone's going to bed. And then if we're just basically left with Usman, Colt, and Courtney, the weirdest threesome I didn't expect to see. But here we are. So, what are we doing? I'm hungry. I'm gonna go to bed. Is what Usman says. And then he says, are you gonna come with me? And Colt is like, hold on, hold on, hold on. You just said you're gonna go to bed straight. Because I think it was Colt said he was hungry. Usman said, I'm going to bed. And then says he's going to come with me. And Colt's like, you just said you're going to bed. What does that say? You know, basically he's clock walking. It's great. Um, but like, it's true. You basically say, I'm going to go to bed. You want to come? Which entails you, you ovulating. So basically, right? It's implied. But Usman tries to like cover it up, like, no, 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 I don't mean that. I mean, we can sit, lie down, chill, watch a movie. Listen, I watched a movie with an African man before, and I can tell you, we didn't just watch a movie, not the entire time. So I think a man in general, right? Just in that perspective, come on now, we ain't dumb. Anyway, Colt says, I'm just going to eat and I'm going to go to bed. And Usman's like, okay. And he's questioning. He's like, what is going on here? Where is Colt coming from? Courtney's mine. What is happening? Which, by the way, you don't. Just because you have this past with her doesn't mean you're going to end up with her. Anyway, Courtney and Usman are meeting up the next morning, but he wants to know if they can be something. Can you be, you know, some like what do you want? Like are you trying to define this relationship? And he's like, I think you're the most beautiful one here. That's so sweet. She is gorgeous. But she's not the most beautiful one here. Don't lie. We all know that's everyone thinks that's Jen, including this guy. Anyways, but she is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Courtney is gorgeous. But he's like, can I kiss you? It's like, you haven't even taken me out on a date. No, sir, you can't kiss me. I love the fact that Courtney, she's always been this way. We saw this with Antonio. She has expectations, she has standards. You're going to treat me well before I give up the goods. And so I didn't get laid until like what, like 2 days before she was leaving. Like she has great standards and I love that about her. Um, I was like, I just wanted to figure things out so that I can kiss, or so I just want to figure things out. Pause. So can I kiss you? Sure. It's actually giving me, to me, if a man, okay, personally for me, and I think actually Tiffany said this in Between the Sheets, don't fucking ask me to kiss me. Just do it. It actually is creepier for me for you to ask me if I can kiss you. I'm all about consent, but consent in a case like this is nonverbal because there is nonverbal consent. This is a nonverbal moment. Don't ask me if you can kiss me. Don't ask me if you can have sex with me either. That is nonverbal consent. That is going to happen. And trust me, you'll know if I want to, if I don't want to. Don't ask me. Anyway, so she says, you can kiss me on the cheek. Great. So, what is going on with Rob and Jen? But they're saying like she was talking shit about Tim. Apparently, he didn't want to touch her, is what Tim is the same Tim was saying, which isn't true. Didn't they not have like something? It almost happened from my memory. They almost had sex. So clearly he touched her, you know? Um, then there was the lap dance situation, and Tim's like, no fucking way. Or someone said like, no fucking way. I don't, maybe it wasn't Tim. I don't think Tim knows it. And they're like, I wonder if he's a cuckold. Oh, this is so, this is Usman and Courtney. It's like, I wonder if he's a cuckold. Um, and she's like, listen, when you get juicy tea, you gotta tell me. Sorry, but there's a little chance I will keep out. There's little chance that I will keep this to myself. We already know you won't keep anything to yourself, honey. We've seen it already. Um, and she's like, I'm also friends with Tim. So like she feels like she has to tell him also that part. So Colt is reading this book, and the book is called If Etiquette, If Etiquette, I think is what it's called. Oh, is it If Etiquette? Maybe my autocorrect, but I think it was Etiquette When Dating. And it was published in 1886 or something like that. I feel like etiquette has changed in the last 100+ years. Just throwing it out there. Anyways, then Courtney starts fluffing Rob and oh yeah, fluffing Rob and Usman's aura. And Rob is like, I don't know if Courtney understands when you say fluffing a man to anything has a connotation. You're disgusting, Rob. Anyways, Rob starts talking about Elise and her being out of hand, which, yes, she is. That was a lot. But she also put you on blast, which I appreciate. So I don't. She's a lot. She's perfect for television. She's a lot. But she also put you on blast. So I'm still with it. You know what I mean? And then here comes Elise after that. And she's like, hi, Rob. She's literally, seriously, the modernized version of gotten close and what's his name again? Forget it. I don't know why. I don't know why I always cannot remember his name, but I see his face in my head. It's like, why? Why does it always happen to me? But it's a modernized version of, um, I will be ignored. Dan. Okay? Seriously. Anyways, that is it. That is the end of this episode. It's a nice long one. Um, yeah, I have nothing else to really say here. I think I want to try to finish this up, but before heading back into 90 Day because I want to stick with the reunions, but we'll see kind of how that goes. Um, I still want to talk about Sister Wives, but I want to get through this. This is better. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But because I'm actually recording this on Sunday, after early afternoon before the show starts, I'll probably stop and do that first so we can talk about that at some point this week. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps, every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.